student at the school, and that he is nice enough to look over the estimate for me to make sure that I'm not getting ripped off. But, that first estimate we got was, oh, look, it's working. It's working. It came up.
Maybe?
Okay. So, yeah, so he'll, because I think one quote I got was like maybe $14,000 or something. And he said, it's not a bad price. Turns out the guy was not licensed, so he's not able to do it in that area. But he was saying that 14 is like a reasonable number. And then, like I said, this other guy came in at 25 to 30 grand. I'm like, yeah, you're delusional. Screw off.
It's that when we start to build relationship with contractors, prices seems to be more reasonable because they know they will get more job from us.
Right.
And they're used to it. So they keep the prices down. And I have that all the time also with people that I work with, that one day I can get a price that is double what I paid in the last project. And I go to them and I said, what's going on here? I mean, we know materials haven't been doubled. Are you building a pool in your backyard? Tell me what's going on. I need to know.
Yeah.
And that's part of that. So when we go out sometimes, when you consider that in mind, when we go out sometimes and we looked for other people, yes, we see that the prices we are paying are very reasonable. Now that we're trying to build new relationship with new contractors, we see, you can say, the real everybody's price that are higher.
Yeah, and it's just unreasonable,
It's
just completely unreasonable. And it's just like, if you don't want the job, just say you don't want the job. But don't waste my time. Don't waste my time with me going out there and you taking a look at everything and you putting up this unreasonable estimate that you already know I'm going to say no to. It's just like, why? Just say, look, you know what? I'm not interested. Sorry, I don't have time to do this. And I'll find somebody else who may be interested, but don't waste my time doing this. It just is irritating because it's like an hour to go out there and then it's like, waiting 3 days to get the estimate. It's just ridiculous. And I did go out there and I got an estimate. Somebody else recommended a licensed electrician out there. And I already got a quote for like around 8,000 or 9,000. This guy comes in at 13. It's just, and he's a friend of a friend. So I'm just like, why? I wish these people wouldn't be so. It just is very frustrating because it's a waste of time for everybody. So now I'm back to trying to find an HVAC and an electrician for my Delaware property so I can get everything moving again because it's stalled a little bit because of some of the demolition issues that we've had. So it's just as frustrating. So it's interesting because I was running the Piece of the Good Life webinar before this.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting. And Larry, if he's listening, he always does this to me. He's like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be out of town. Can you run the Piece of the Good Life webinar? And I'm looking at him like, really? Like, really? He knows that I'm not.
My Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not. I can do it, yes, but do I want to? And he does that all the time because he has that. Look at you laughing because it's right?
I know.
He has that expectation, and then if I say no, I feel like the schmuck, and it's just like I hate it when he does that.
It's not the expectation. He know how to make you do something that
you don't really want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's just like,
and he know it, and he do it in a charming way. Oh, you love doing that. No, I don't.
Yeah.
He do that to me all the time.
I know. It's very
we experience it.
Yeah.
So our broadcast does work, which is great now. I don't know what happened again. It's yeah, exactly. So everybody can look at Debbie's sexy.
My sexy top. There you go. I'm showing my arms today. I got my little bit of chest, whatever you could say. I'm in a better mood than I was last week, which is good.
Are you done?
I'm done, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Exactly. So you can stare at Debbie's sexy top on the online. And, of course, you can call us, 855-939-1137. You can catch my call during the phone. So 855-939-1137. We'll be very happy if you will give us a call, and we'll discuss whatever you want.
As long as we can answer it. And if we can't answer it, then, I guess we won't.
So there is something I want to discuss with you.
And what is that?
There is a new law in it's not a law yet. Something going on in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And that's relevant to landlord-tenant issues.
Okay.
And what they are doing is, it's called, so I'll read it to you, okay? The local Philadelphia City Council passed legislation on June 12, 2025. I'm trying to figure out which source to use here.
Okay, so just throwing it out there that we're getting a note that your audio is going to the switcher is higher. I can barely hear you. So, or you can barely hear us or something. I don't know. So you just need to adjust that. So while you're, reading,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We will. So what they're saying is they allow the renters, okay, to I'm sorry, it's allowing renters who must pay more than 1 month rent in security deposit,
Yeah.
which is what we're teaching here in the school. Always take 2 months, okay, first, last, and security. Now the 2 months can be 2 securities. It can be 1 security and 1 last, but that's part of that. So according to the city of Philadelphia right now, they are passed a legislation that say that the landlord must provide the tenant with the option to pay the second security or the last in 3 or more payments. Which means if you have a tenant that applied to your home and it seems good and you like them and you want to take them in, you must allow them to pay. They have to pay 1 security in full. The second security, you must let them pay in at least 3 payments.
Okay.
That's something that just passed now, June 12. It's not now. We have some time. Also, they're trying to run another thing, believe it or not, which I think it's acceptable, to be honest with you, that application fee can go over $50.
It can go over?
It can't.
Oh, can't.
Yeah, you can charge over $50 for an application, which is acceptable.
Yeah.
The only problem with that I see is that we all use a third party companies to do the applications.
Oh,
And
I see where you're
some
going.
of them are charging over.
Okay.
So everybody will have to choose the companies that will charge. If you are renting in Philly, if you're doing that in Philly, you must choose ones that are under 50,
Okay.
that can provide this service for you, the landlord, under $50.
What does Zillow charge? I don't even know what Zillow charges. Do you know?
30. It's funny because I'm applying for apartments right now myself.
Okay.
$35.
$35. Okay,
Yeah.
so because that's
It's
what.
per person. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So when you do I know that when you apply through Zillow, you can use that same credit report for multiple places, right? Once you pay once, can't you use it for multiple places?
You can.
Yeah. So that's what I do when I say to somebody, I'm like, all right, fill out I'll send them the Zillow application, and I'll say, just so you know, you're paying for the fee, but you'll be able to use that fee for any other apartment that you can apply for.
I applied for so many recently,
Yeah.
and I tell you, the best value right now is Zillow.
Okay.
Zillow, I think, costs 35, maybe 39,
Okay.
and you can apply for as many as you want.
Okay.
Rent Spree is, I think, you know what? I'm not sure.
I've never used Rent Sprees.
So
for
Rent
credit.
Spree is extremely expensive.
Okay.
It costs like, I think, $50 or $60. And then if you want them to allow you to use this application for other units, you need to add another $15.
So why would I use Rent Spree? Because they're gouging.
If your landlord work with Rent Spree and he say, I only accept Rent Spree application, it is what it is, right?
So
There's nothing you can do,
So
I guess. So that's why they're running this legislation in Philadelphia right now.
I use Rent Spree to collect rent payments.
Okay.
So, and I always give my tenants an option to use Rent Spree, and I would actually prefer if they use Rent Spree because then it goes in, then I see that they're paid, and then it goes into my account like 2 or 3 days later, and then I don't have to worry about it, and I don't have to document it because Rent Spree will document everything for me, so it's one less step for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of prefer that over some of the other, like Venmo or Cash App or Zelle or whatever.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Because you get these and it's like such a hassle. It's like, oh, I need to check this one off.
How do they pay?
So
normally, how do they
so
allow them to pay with a credit card?
I think that they can, but they have to pay extra if they pay for a credit card.
So you will get the full amount.
Yeah. So and then I think it's a $3 charge if they have it out of their bank account. If they draft it from their bank account, they pay a $3 fee. But if they use a credit card, I think they have to pay more. Because I know when I was starting to accept people from Monroe, I said I want them to use Rent Spree, and I set everything up in Rent Spree. And then they decided not to do it because they were going to use a credit card, and it was going to cost them more money. And I'm like, well, then send me Cash App, but either way, you got to pay me. So they ended up Cash Apping me. But I do have a couple tenants who use Rent Spree.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about Rent Spree is that, and I'm not sure, maybe because I think it only happened once, that I don't know if it automatically applies the late fee if they're past a certain date.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. So that's the only thing I have to check. But it only happened once where I think I got something late. Usually some of my tenants pay early, which is fantastic. But some of them I still haven't gotten rent for, and it's past the first. So whatever, it is what it is.
The amazing thing about the late fee is how with certain tenants, it's just automatic. You even get an email or a text saying, I will be late this month, I will pay the late fee, and tell me how much it is, or I will add this late fee, and that's fine.
I did get one of them.
And with some I have this tenant, and believe it or not, she was a risk when I took her to the unit.
Yeah.
But I like to give people opportunities.
Yeah.
I pay the price for that. That's why I used to be the worst landlord. I know that I pay the price for that sometimes, but I also do something good. And it benefits me and it benefits them. Since she moved in March, all her payment were late.
Okay.
Everything. But she always pay before I go and file in court. As you know, we say that on the 1st, the payment is due. On the 5th is late.
Right.
Right? I'm sorry, we say on the 2nd it's late.
On the 2nd it's late.
On the 2nd it's late. On the 5th, there's a $150 late fee. On the 15th, I filed for eviction.
Right.
So, believe it or not, she always paid before the 15th. And I am concerned that maybe one day she will pay on the 17th or the 16th or the 18th, and I will be in court before she will finish the payment. And that's an aggravation. For everybody, for me, for her, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We know that. We experienced that. We know what it is.
I really just I wish that, so a lot of the times I get there's a handful of times where I've gotten it late, and I'd be like, where I'd have to, I'm like, well, I'll remind them, okay, there's, like for one tenant, she just emailed me, and she's like, listen, I don't get paid till this day. I'm going to pay you on the 7th. And she's like, I'll include the late fee. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And then somebody else reached out. He's like, I don't get paid. He said the same thing. He's like, pay you on the 7th or 8th. I said, you can. I said, but you're going to have to include a late fee. He's like, I'll figure it out. And then I'm telling you, the next day I got paid from him. So he figured it out. But then I also have like a handful of tenants that, just like you, I took a shot on. And then a couple times I'm like, I'm just letting you know that it's the 12th. I haven't received payment and I'm filing in 2 days. You know what I mean? Or I'm filing in 3 days. And then all of a sudden, within a day or so, I get all the payments with the late fee. And it irritates me. And I'll tell you why. Because I have mortgages out on my property. So I have to still cover the payment whether they pay me or not. So and I know that you have all yours are free and clear, but mine aren't.
I got you.
I still need to pay my lender whether they pay me or not. I still need to pay it.
I am the abnormal here. So
you are the abnormal.
Most
in more ways than one. I love you, Omri. I'm kidding.
Most people. Okay. So I'm just saying, most people have mortgages on their property.
Right.
When the tenant don't pay, yes, they can pay their mortgage, and this can be a problem.
Yeah.
So we need to understand that. Yeah.
That's why it was such a big deal when they stopped they had the moratorium in Philly. It's just like weird. They're like, well, landlords are rich. They don't need to. People don't need to pay their rent. It's like we still need to pay our properties off because the bank is not going to say, sorry, it's okay. Take a year time off and not pay our, they don't care. So it's just, that's why I get frustrated. So when my tenants don't pay me on time, I still need to make my rent, I still need to make my mortgage payment whether they pay me or not. And it's definitely a little bit harder when you have so many properties that, if you're paying $1,000 a month per property on a mortgage, it's just like, $10 or $20 or $30,000 or whatever it is, that's a lot to come up with when your tenants aren't paying you. So it just it's a frustration. So I don't know. But usually, like most of the time, it's not, usually most of the time it's not an issue. If they give you notice, at least you know what's going on. And I do want to preface this, and I know a couple callers sometimes have said this, so it's not like this happens all the time, but I think we always talk about the ones that are problematic, but we don't talk about any of the ones that aren't. So I want to talk about this one tenant I'd have. And Blake, if you're listening, I am doing a shout out to him. So I got a call. I have a condo out in Philly. It's in East Falls. It's in the gated community. It's a really nice condo. I actually got it on tax deed auction, and I had she actually had a squatter in there for a little while. It took me a while to get her out. And then now it's rented out. It's great. It's 2 sisters, and the place has a little. You were there. That's the one your wife cleaned out for me.
And we changed the lock.
And we changed the lock for me, and it has a little extra like an alcove in it, which is great because they could put their little office in there. Anyway, so I got a call from them yesterday saying that there was water in the kitchen, but there was hardly any water coming out of the bathroom sink and no water coming out of the shower or the tub. which was just weird. And then I asked them to check the neighbors and then people down below to see if they had water. Everybody had water, so we couldn't figure out what was going on. It was just really weird. I told them to call emergency maintenance, and maintenance is like, this is a unit issue. This isn't a maintenance issue. So I had Blake go out there, which was great. And Blake went out and fixed everything, which was, perfect. Thank you so much for that. And then last night, it was so nice because, like I said, there are two sisters. Let me see if I could bring this. And they said, Blake fixed it. I said, great. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. And she writes to me, which was so awesome. You are truly the best landlord. Melissa and I think you are the absolute best. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. So it was so cool to hear that, because I have you get these tenants who are just so happy with you. And it's just so nice because, whenever I hear about a problem, I like to get it resolved within 24 hours. And usually it's sooner, right? So
Yes.
if I got a call and say, hey, I have this plumbing not working or there's a problem with the electrical, within 10 minutes, I'm on the phone trying to get somebody out there to say, hey, can you go out there and take a look at this for me because there's a problem here, because I don't want this to fester, because I remember renting an apartment way back when, and if I had an issue, I needed my guy to take care of it, and it didn't always happen.
Every time you do something, regardless if you're a landlord, whatever you're a tenant, be proud in what you're doing. Don't let people staying without heat, without cold, without proper roof,
right,
without proper plumbing. It's unacceptable.
Yeah. I mean, this is people's homes that
Exactly.
you're dealing with. You can't mess around and try to wait for this or wait for that, or I'll wait to see if it goes away. This is people's homes that they're living in, and
Exactly.
you want it to be their home, and you want it to be somewhere that they want to stay for a while.
We are providing service, and we should be proud in the service that we're providing,
Right.
and the way we're providing this service.
Right.
So if you are a landlord or a tenant or anything regarding real estate, any question about money, anything at all, give us a call. 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137.
No.
And we'll be very happy to talk to you. And now everything works.
Everything's working.
It took us a second, but it took us more than a second, but now everything worked. The broadcast and everything works, and we're happy. And we have Kimmy listening to us.
Kimmy is listening to us.
Yeah.
Hey, Kimmy, how are you?
We miss her.
Yeah.
She don't come to class that often.
Yeah. So, but no, it's good. I'm glad to, like I said, we're glad to be able to help. I was having trouble with a different. I think I don't know. Maybe it was six months ago or something. I had one of my tenants was having trouble with her stove, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And I just ordered her a new stove, and she was super excited that she got a fresh brand new stove. And I felt bad. I think it was going to take like 3 or 4 days to get out to her. I'm like, this is the fastest that they can get it to you, but at least you have a brand new stove, and now she's happy, and I don't have any issues. So it's like little things like that. If there's something going on, then you want to take care of it right away, and deal with that so that people will. I think that's what it is. It's like you want people to be happy in their home so that they want to stay with you, So I know that they had said something to me about staying for another year, which is great. I have to up the rent, $30 or $50 or whatever, and I'm sure that they'll be happy to pay it, which is great. But I'm happy because they're happy, and then it kind of makes my life easier. And they're not going to call me for any stupid thing. They're going to call me if there's a problem, right?
I know.
So, and it's
we want people to care about their home.
We want people, and then the other thing too is that then if you're good to them, then they're going to be good to the property.
Of course, they care about the property.
Right.
That's why we're trying to always give people the property in a condition that we can move into in any given moment.
Right.
When we do that, we basically say to people, this is my home, my house that I'm giving to you.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm proud to give to you. So please take care of it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the way we do it. Should we do a commercial break?
Yeah, I think we should go to commercial.
Let's go
real
and
quick.
do a commercial break.
All right.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor
You're
Schooling.
clear.
How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com
Everything's fine on the radio.
No, I know.
My goodness, this Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Listen to that. Larry's not even here, and he's giving us direction on what.
Hey, this is Larry
Steinhouse.
Steinhouse.
What's funny about it is like Larry and Omri both answering each other on Larry's messenger makes it look like Larry's having a conversation with his
Because I'm reading it.
I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. And I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Only increase the switcher. I don't know.
No, you just moved it to the microphone.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great
what
clients.
I said about Piece of the Good Life?
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher. Teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. Taking to heart many of the things that he's
Omri, say something so I can double check your radio level.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday. Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Did you know that we have a radio show right here on WPHT every Saturday at 1 o'clock? It's called The Larry Steinhouse Show. And you want to listen to this show because it's a live show and you can call in. In fact, here's the call-in number.
855-939-1137.
And when you call in, you can ask us questions about real estate, the stock market, even politics. Make sure you tune in Saturday, 1 o'clock. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Did you know that there are so many different ways to prepare for retirement, and annuities are not the answer? Come learn this Thursday by taking a free class at Investor Schooling. Come to Investor Schooling, and you will learn so many different ways that you can make more money in retirement than you actually expected to. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday. That's investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. We'll see you there.
How do I sound, Glenn? I think Omri's like really loud.
This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Did you know that you can buy real estate with absolutely no money out of your pocket? That's right.
Bring your overall level down
for the radio station without touching the switcher. How to buy real estate with absolutely no money out of your pocket. You should come this Thursday night to a complimentary class at Investor Schooling and learn more. Learn how to buy properties with no money. Learn how to make money at closings and learn how to make a monthly income. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. Take your complimentary class this Thursday. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Listen, you need to take a complimentary class this Thursday. You need to learn how to invest in real estate. You need to learn how to invest in the stock market. You need to learn how to invest in stock options. And you need to learn how to make more money than you've ever made before. Why aren't you here? Come to investorschooling.com. Take a complimentary class this Thursday and learn. That's investorschooling.com. Take your complimentary class this Thursday.
All right.
We'll see you there.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
You're live.
So if you were listening live on Facebook, you're here. We're having all kinds of issues going on with the radio. And then Larry's literally on a plane telling us what to do. Gotta love him.
Every time he's not here.
Every time he's not here, we get directions for him.
Some problems, yeah.
And you know what I don't understand is that if he's not here and he purposely makes his flights so that he can't be on the radio show and he listens to us and gives us direction, I think he should just call in or do something so that we don't have to do the radio show on our own. Because, you know, he tells us what to do anyway.
Welcome back to the Larry Steinhouse Show. We are a live show, as you see, and we are very, very unscripted. You can call us anytime during the show at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. If you listen to us in the beginning of the show, you know that I'm saying the number so many times because for some reason I give Deb the fizz or whatever I am when I'm saying the number with your sick voice. With my sick voice.
You have a deeper voice.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's always, I had to tell you when I was in college, like when I was going to college like a long time ago, there was this guy, and his name was Steve, and the semester before him and his friend, I was friends with his friend, right? And then we ended up being in the same class together the next semester.
Yeah.
And then I saw this guy Steve, right? And me and I forget what the other guy's name was. I don't even remember. But and I was attracted to this guy. He was, he was a good-looking guy. But anyway, he had such a deep voice that even when he whispered, you could hear him across the room. Like, you couldn't hear what he was saying, but you could hear that he was talking. So of course I made it a point to go over to say hello to my friend and say, yo, hey, how you doing? How you been? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Just chit-chatting. So that I could get to meet his friend Steve. And it's funny because I don't remember his name at all anymore, but I do remember Steve's name. So, but he had I think that was my intro to having a deep voice and really enjoying the whole deep voice thing.
Okay. If you want to hear more stories from Deb Anderson, please call us at 855-939-1137.
Completely irrelevant to what this is a financial show.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to hear what you've been through in college, the marriage, whatever, you call us, 855-939-1137.
No, I think my marriage is off the table for this, right?
And of course, we have sweet Glenn Page, our producer.
And he doesn't know what to do with us either. So
what do you mean?
Funny. What?
What do you mean he doesn't know what to do with us either?
Because we're a financial show, but we don't talk about finances all the time.
We do.
Sometimes.
Do you want to talk about finance? So let's do that. I tell you what I want to do.
What do you want to do?
Okay, because we started to talk about real estate. We talked about landlord-tenant and about what's going on in Philadelphia right now.
Right.
With the new legislation and what they're trying to pass, which...
I thought you said they're passed it.
I think
they're trying to pass it or they passed it?
So it's passed. Yeah,
okay.
It's passed. But to be honest with you, I'm not embarrassed to tell you that I'm not sure when legislation turned into a law.
So I don't know either, but the thing I was thinking about actually when you were talking about it was that just because they have this into law doesn't mean you have to accept that tenant.
No, but it's true.
You don't have to. So I got a call this morning from somebody about
you need to be smart on that. You need to know how to not accept the tenant until the tenant explain how they pay, and then you can reject the tenant without saying, because this is part of the PA law, without saying why are you rejecting this kind of tenant. You can always say I have better candidate. That's fine.
Right.
But there's a problem here, and I think the government, the state, the city of Philadelphia in particular, are trying to fight something. And it's funny to me that the city of Philadelphia do it they are so determined to do that, because you have sections in Philadelphia that you understand very, very clearly that some homeowner can take care of their home.
Okay.
The roofs are collapsing, all the bricks.
So I don't
it's
understand
like
why
there's no mortar between two pieces of brick.
So I don't understand why they don't go after those landlords and leave the other landlords.
I'm not saying even landlords. I'm saying owners.
Okay.
People that can't maintain their own home. We see those things. We see landlords that can't maintain the home. We saw them. They were shouting during this pandemic, right? Yeah. Because you need to understand, I need to consider as a landlord that every 25 years, let's say average of 25, I won't say 25 years, I need to do a roof. Every 6, maybe 8 years, I need to replace a water heater. Now it's like 15 to 20 years, I need to replace a furnace. And that's if I'm lucky and nothing is in the middle. All those things. Kitchen don't hold for 20 years anymore.
Yeah.
They don't. They just don't. And if you want to give people nice place, yes, you can give them a 20-year-old kitchen. That's part of it.
Yeah, appliances don't last that long either. Maybe 5 years. Maybe,
exactly.
You know.
Exactly. It's part of that. It's funny how the old equipment hold better than the new equipment right now.
Yeah.
But it's also amazing how people don't want the old equipment because it's old. It's not modern. It's ugly. It's like you can give people a stove that is from the 90s or even the 80s that maybe will still work, but there is no timer there. There is no programs. There is nothing they can do. So some people will look at that and say, I'm not going to live in a house with a stove like that.
So I saw that. So it's interesting because I bought my house about 8 or so years ago, and we had to do it. I planned on replacing our kitchen, but within 2-3 years of moving in, but we ended up having an issue that we had to replace it within the first month of moving in. We didn't plan on redoing our kitchen, so we ended up having to redo our kitchen. Anyway, so my stove now is a nicer stove, I guess. I don't know. It's got all the bells and whistles on it that we never use, by the way. All the bells and whistles on it. And now the digital screen is not showing up. It's missing some of the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, do we fix it? Do we replace it? But the other thing too, and my husband and I were chatting about it, and I'm thinking moving more towards replacing it. I mean, once some of the burners go, that's it. I'm done. But like I can deal with the missing numbers on the screen. I don't care that much about it. But what I want to replace it with is I want to replace it with like a very basic model because, you know, all the bells and whistles, we don't use any of them.
I know.
You know, I don't use the self-cleaning oven. I don't use the warming drawer. I don't use the automatic shutoff. I don't use the timed cooking. I don't use any of this stuff.
What is a warming drawer?
You don't have a warming drawer?
No, what is it?
So you know how you have the regular oven that you open up?
Yeah.
On the bottom, lots of people put like storage in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're usually a warming drawer. It's a warming drawer, like it stays warm. So for Shabbat, like for Shabbat where you can't turn on the oven if you follow Shabbat, you can keep, you make your food Friday during the day. You keep your warming oven on, and then you can open it up and still have warm food on Saturday because it keeps the temperature warm. It's a warming drawer. So I have a warming drawer. And I think I've used it once in 8 years. Like once in 8 years. You know, like what? I don't need this crap anymore. And it's the same with microwaves. It has like 15 different functions on there. And the only one I've ever used
is the popcorn button.
Is popcorn. And I don't even use a popcorn because I don't need popcorn. My husband uses the popcorn button, and I use to soften the butter. That's it. I don't use any of the other features on there.
Soften the butter.
Soften the butter. Like if I'm making a recipe and I need to soften the butter or melt the butter,
So it doesn't burn it.
So it doesn't burn it, melts it slow, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I don't use any of these things anymore. So, I'm actually half tempted to get, a 50-year-old stove that'll last me another 50 years. That will be ugly, but it'll be hidden in the cabinet anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
But I don't want, because we'll start looking at stoves or we'll start looking at microwaves. My husband looks for, of course, the most expensive one and the one that has all the features and the double ovens. We're not big cookers, so I'm like, what do we need all this crap for? I mean, I'm happy with like a simple turn it on, turn it off. You got 4 burners, I'm good to go. You know what I mean? It has all these features, but then it comes with all these electrical issues with it. So I'm not so sure I'm keen on that. I'd rather just get something old that functions instead of something fancy that looks nice in the kitchen that I don't cook that much in. I don't know.
So if you're had enough with stoves, call us and change the subject. 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. And we are also giving a free digital book. You can text the word hacks, 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 to 26786. That's 26786. Please text HACKS, HACKS, 26786, and you will get a free copy of Larry's Money Hacks, a digital version of the Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse.
So that leads into like a couple of the things that we have coming up soon.
Sure.
So we have our Financial IQ that's coming up in Tampa in October. And then we have our Money Hacks event that's going to be November 1st. We have our Love 27 event that's, I think, in October also. So we have a couple events coming up. So make sure to listen in to us and make sure to come in for a free class on Thursday.
Please come, investorschooling.com, investorschooling.com.
Right. And then we had a special speaker this past Thursday. He was talking about notes and mortgage notes. He was talking about how the process works and different things that you could do with notes. Yeah, different states, but also different things that you could do with notes. And then, of course, we're going to have a free class this Thursday coming up. I have no idea what the topic is going to be, but we're going to do something. And I think that we just talked about how we had one of our students be the winner for the covered call contest. So he did incredibly well. So we had, I think it was 11 students put $10,000 in an account, and then they had free reign as to what stocks that they were able to pick, and they did covered calls on it, and whoever was the winner who made the most money at the end of 8 weeks won. So we had one of our students win. He made a 50% profit, a 50% profit. So we thought that the profit would be somewhere between $12,000 and $13,000 after the end of 8 weeks, but our student did incredibly well. He had like $15,018 at the end of 8 weeks. He did awesome. And all of the students, every single one of the students except for one, was over $10,000. So every student made money. Every single student made money doing this, which was great.
Beside one.
Made
a horrible mistake.
Who made a terrible mistake. But what was good about the mistake is that we all were able to learn from it.
Yes, correct.
And what happened was that he picked a stock that was very volatile. And then you learn that when you're picking volatile stocks that they don't work so well for you. And but it was a great learning experience, because what would have been worse actually is if he won the contest, because then everybody would start picking volatile stocks and do really, really risky things.
Yes.
So not that I'm happy he lost money, but I'm glad that we were able to learn from it, and him as well. And one of the things he did is that he completely went off script and did not follow any of the rules that we teach here at Investor Schooling. And, unfortunately he didn't do so well, but he's taking it all in stride, which is great. And everybody was able to learn a lot from everybody else. And then on this past Monday, we were talking about what everybody did, what stocks they were picking, what strategies they were using, and it was pretty good. It was pretty exciting, and it was great because there was so much momentum going for this contest. Like, everybody was excited, everybody was coming in. Like, there was just a lot of energy when people were talking about it. It was really pretty cool.
Okay, and people got prizes, which is also good.
People got prizes?
Yeah. We have the winner. He got a big trophy.
Yeah, the winner got a huge trophy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a dinner.
Did he get dinner?
I'm not sure. I think so.
So Monday nights for
it used to be. When we started the challenge, it was a trophy and a dinner.
It might have been. So remember, I was away when the whole thing started, so I didn't even know about the challenge until I got back, and then Monday nights I had to go down early, so I wasn't able to hear all the back and forth, which kind of blows, because I would have really liked to have heard the back and forth and the banter about what everybody did, just because I wasn't able to do that. But so if you want a dinner, that's great. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's not me. The winner got a dinner.
No, the winner.
Yeah,
no, I know. No, that's great.
So I want to focus in this hour about landlord-tenant issues.
Okay.
Because we just started, and let's focus on that. And in the next hour, we can discuss maybe stocks, maybe options, maybe other things. You can maybe bring another college story. Whatever you want. So if you do have any question about
I have some college stories.
Landlord in tenant, keep your shirt on. You can call us at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. I have a question for you.
I have an answer, maybe.
Maybe. You don't know. You started with I have an answer, and then you backed out. Maybe. Yeah.
No, I usually have an answer.
Yeah. So
even if the answers I can't answer, I have an answer.
What do you experience as a landlord right now with...
Oh, I know where you're going.
With... What am I going?
With the prices. You're gonna go talk...
With rentals?
See, I'm good.
With vacancies? With rentals, with vacancies, with inventory? It seems that we have a lot of offers right now. I think the prices are still... When we talk about purchasing, the prices are still very high. With rentals, I see that my neighbors are lowering the price, and they are pushing me into lowering the price. So we will discuss that in a second, but we have Lou calling us. Hey, Lou, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
We are good. How are you?
Good. Hey, I want to talk to you about becoming your own bank.
Okay. What's the question?
One, I need the guy's name and phone number so I can call him to do it. And two is, how's it work?
So it's not like your typical life insurance policy, okay? Like when you're becoming your own bank, it's hard to explain it like in 5 minutes because it's an hour and a half presentation, so it's not like something you do in 5 minutes. But the whole thing about becoming your own bank is it's housed in a life insurance policy, but it's not a typical life insurance policy, and that's just like the housing. That's all it is. But inside it's not like something you get from Allstate or State Farm, or it's a different kind. Yeah, yes. It's completely different, and we can give you that information. That's no problem. But anyway, what you do is you put money into this policy, and you're your own bank, right? So let's just say, and there's a couple ways that they can set it up. They can front load it, or you can do something over time. The whole idea about these policies is that they become more efficient over time. So, for example, I have a bunch of policies. I started my first policy, I don't know, 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So I put $25,000 in one of my policies, and then I was able to draw, the way mine was written, I was able to draw out, I think, about $12,000 or $13,000 within 30 days, okay? And I can use that money for whatever it is that I want. Whatever it is that I want. And it's still building interest inside the policy. It's still building interest, okay? So I think it's 4% interest, I think, that you get inside the policy. So even though I pull out that $12,000, it's still building interest there. Okay, and the next year I make another deposit into my policy, another $25,000, and that second year I may be able to pull out $20,000 or $18,000, okay, or something like that. And I still pull it out, and I'm still on that $18,000. Let's just say it was $18,000. I'm still making 4% interest on that. Now that third year I put in another $25,000, and maybe that year I might be able to pull out $22,000. I think it takes 3 or 4 years to finally hit. Okay, and the fourth year I put in another $25,000, and I'm able to pull out 26 and change. So it becomes more efficient over time. That's why you want to start it up right away. But it's not, like I said, it's not a typical life insurance policy. It's a special type of life insurance policy that you have to have set up.
And you still hold the death benefits.
And you still hold all the death benefits. So the death benefits doesn't matter. So what happens, and you don't have to pay that loan back. You can if you want to, but you don't have to.
You should.
You should, but you don't have to. So I've never paid back my loans because what happens, let's just say that you have a $500,000 benefit and you've borrowed $100,000 off your loan. So when you die, when you cross over, you get $400,000 instead of $500,000. So you pay back the loan at your death.
What about the interest?
What about interest?
They're not charging you interest.
They do charge you interest, but it's a low percent.
Okay.
It is a low percent. So when you take out money from the policy, you want to make sure that whatever interest you're using that money for, you're getting more interest. So say they charge you 3%, you want to be making sure you're making at least 5 or 10 or whatever it is. Because usually people pull out the policy either to loan it to somebody else or to buy a property or you could do stock options, or you could do whatever it is you want with that money. You could pay down credit card debt. You could do whatever it is you want with that money. And then
but the beauty when you get into the idea is that even if you pay back and you pay back with interest the money that you borrowed from your policy, you're basically paying interest for yourself.
Yes, you're paying interest back for yourself.
To yourself. You're paying interest, you're charging yourself interest. You can look at it that way.
Yeah.
We do have an event coming up calling the Money Multiplier. I'm sorry.
Money Hacks.
The Money Hacks workshop, correct? And we
November
will have
1st?
That's November 1st, and we will have a presentation of exactly what it is and how to do it by the pros. Would you like 2 tickets? But it's only if you are available to come on November 1st and attend.
No, I'm going to say no.
Where are you from?
I'm up here in Doylestown area.
Okay, awesome. Why won't you come?
Because I might not be around. I go to Massachusetts a lot, and that's where the problem's coming in.
Okay.
So I got it's a long story, but I have to go help my daughter out with her place, and I'm the electrician, and I'm the one doing all the work up there.
Family first,
and the only time
always.
I can go up there is on the weekend.
So I can offer you 2 things. First, you can, of course, text the word hacks, HACKS, hacks to 26786. And you will get Larry's book. There is a full chapter regarding the infinite banking and how to create your own, how to be your own bank. And we, of course, will be very, very happy to invite you and to have you for a class on a Thursday. You go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. You RSVP for a free class, and we'll be very happy to have you with us.
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys ever since you came on the radio. Well, ever since Larry came on the radio.
Great.
Great.
So you say we're not that good without him?
That's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's like,
that's
Larry's so much better when he's here.
That's
apparently you and I can't do this alone. So moving forward, whenever Larry's out of town, we're going to run a rerun instead.
Right. I was going to say, if Larry was there, I was going to say I'm one of the 3 people to listen to him every Saturday, but besides his mom. But
Oh, I don't even know if his mom listens.
Yeah, I'm not sure his mom listens.
He always says his mom's listening.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's funny. That's fine. Well, we're glad. We appreciate you listening to us. Sure.
So great.
Yeah, it's no problem. I just need, because I heard the guy. It was over a year ago when he was talking about all that stuff, and I wrote down the guy's name and number, but then I lost it since it's so long ago, and I want to try doing it. That's all.
Yeah, so his name is actually in the book. When you look at the infinite banking policy, we do mention him. I know that I remember reading the book, and I remember his name is in there. And then if you want, Glenn could always get your info. We can send information.
Everything
to you
we sell is education.
Yeah, that's the only thing we sell.
We don't sell policies. We don't do all that. We do refer people, and we do a lot of connections, but that's it. We will only sell you the education about how to do it. If you need someone to do it for you, we can refer you to someone.
Okay. No, I know that. I know you don't sell nothing. I just wanted to get in touch with this guy and get something going. That's all.
Awesome.
Okay, great.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
You're good. Have a good one.
Awesome.
All right. So what were we talking about?
So before we took the call, okay, we discussed about what's going on with rental right now, with rental prices actually right now.
Right. So
which is it's very between areas.
It's a little frustrating.
We keep hearing from some students around here that have, for example, in the schools area in Bucks County have rentals, and it seems like they are in very good shape, and they're doing great.
I have. So my Monroe property, I have one tenant who just moved out at the end of the month.
That's Wilkes-Barre.
In Wilkes-Barre.
She moved out on July.
He did.
He did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they it was like 3 cousins or something. They moved out at the end of the month. So now I have that one open. So I put it up for $25 more than what they were paying, and zilch.
Yeah.
You know, I think I got 25 clicks and I got nobody responding. Yeah. So I lowered the price $25, and I've gotten a couple hits, you know, in the last 2 or 3 days, but like so far the hits are not great hits. You know what I mean? Like the people are just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like that, I don't know. So I think I'm going to have to lower it, which is a little frustrating because it's not really what I want. I mean, the whole idea is to rent it for more money, not rent it for less, you know?
Correct,
so,
yeah.
So,
but we do need to remember that there was a huge jump in the price of rentals during 22, 3, 4, 2, 3, mainly more than 4.
Okay.
And everything did jump.
Yeah.
So it's okay to take a bit lower. I think I didn't expect that it will get that low that fast until that point. I think that's the issue from my side.
Yeah, I just want to get this thing rented. So, you know, for those of you who don't know, like when you turn over a tenant, it's very expensive for the landlord, you know, because you have to paint, you have to clean, you have to fix whatever happened, then you have to get somebody in there. You can't get somebody in there right away. It usually takes a month or 2, sometimes longer. And it's just expensive for the turnover because you're still, you know, in my case, I'm still paying a lender on that property whether somebody's in there or not. So it could just be expensive in terms of just having to fix up the property to get it rentable again.
Let's put it up front. If a tenant move in and after 1 year, they stay only for 1 year and they move out and I need to repaint, to reclean, to redo all that.
Yeah.
Probably I haven't made any money during this year.
Right. Realistically, you're not making any money because you still have to pay for whatever expenses that you're covering, plus any insurance, you know, and plus whatever, anything like whatever the grass or whatever.
I have vacancy right now. I need to clean because I want that the next person will get the place the same way. And I mean, I've never got a unit from a tenant, is maybe very close, but in a way that it's ready for rent.
Right.
We always want to do something. We always want to make it shine again before the new person moves in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's part of it, yeah.
Yeah. So it is. It's expensive to turn over. But I'm hoping to get, like, I got a call. You know, it's interesting that you were saying something about Philly because I got a call this morning about somebody who might be interested. And they said something about, oh, my pet is an emotional support animal.
Yeah.
And they said, do you take them? I said, sure. I said, but you have to show me proof.
Correct.
And they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, there's paperwork that's involved to show me that it's an emotional support. You can't just say, hey, you know, my cat's an emotional support animal.
Correct.
It doesn't work that way. I want proof that it's an actual emotional support
Normally
animal.
from a therapist or from a family doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, something to show that it's really something. Because if without that paperwork, then as far as I'm concerned, it's not an emotional support animal.
They did?
They did not give me anything. No.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, it's going to cost us money. And I'm like, okay. You know? So, I mean, because if it is an emotional support animal, then you can't charge them for having an animal.
Correct.
So that was the whole point.
That's why they use that and they say this is an emotional support even without documentation.
Right.
And they're basically saying you can't charge me for it.
Right.
Without providing any proof.
Right. So I'm not saying no to having an emotional support animal, but I am saying, you know, show me documentation so that I don't end up charging you for the support animal. You know?
So we are the Larry Steinhouse Show, and this was the first hour of our show today. That's August 2nd. We'll be back for another hour, so stay with us if you are listening live. We'll be very happy to have you for another hour for us. We will discussing more of money, landlording, tenants, options, whatever you want. You can call us anytime, 855-939-1137.
This program is paid.
855-939, we still love you, Glenn. 855-939-1137. And
We're out.
I think so. I don't know. Glenn confused me. 855-939-1137. We are the Larry Steinhouse Show. Stay with us. Bye.
You're good. You're clear. Everything's fine.
We love you.
No, you're fine.
I didn't realize the time.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia.
I mean, it's not
From the
all in the
Piazza
wall.
Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Stop buying gold online. Edelman's Coins is the Philadelphia area's largest buyer and seller of gold and silver bullion. Family owned for 99 years, Edelman's Coins has continued to provide ultra-competitive pricing paired with unparalleled customer service. With transparent buy-sell spreads, you know you will always get a fair deal. When buying or selling bullion or coins, think Edelman's Coins. Call 215-572-6480 or visit edelmanscoins.com.
What?
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A 38-year-old Montgomery County man is charged with having child sexual abuse material featuring kids as young as 8. Governor Shapiro is criticizing the Trump administration's plans to potentially remove references to slavery at Independence National Historical Park. And Eagles great Eric Allen enters the NFL Hall of Fame today.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed
All
us
right,
more.
we'll be coming
If
back
something
in 1
happens
minute.
to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Dr. Deb, I got that guy's email for you.
Okay, great.
He did say, I asked him for his phone number. He says he doesn't. His phone number doesn't take incoming calls.
People 50 and up like me.
Whatever.
Our needs are different.
Whatever.
Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. The Larry Steinhouse Show.
Welcome back. Welcome to the Larry Steinhouse Show, where money, politics, and common sense collide. But wait, something feels different today. That's right, I'm not Larry Steinhouse. I'm Omri Morad, stepping in while Larry is out today. Probably making deals, flips house, or finding something outrageous to rent about... What? I hate ChatGPT.
ChatGPT strikes again.
Yeah, we are broadcasting live from the Investor Schooling headquarters right here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. We are the brick and mortar financial school. To any financial needs that you want and need and have, whatever you want, we are here for you.
Did you write this part? Okay.
No, I'm trying to adjust it as I read it.
Okay.
So stop.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, that's right. We are not hiding behind the webinar. We are in the okay, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I really tried, but ChatGPT every time it sounds
Welcome
more and
to
more.
the Larry Steinhouse Show.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the Larry Steinhouse Show because in the last few months, that's how we started the show.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So we are a financial show, and we are here for you, and we are live. So call us 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Buckle up, grab your notepad, and get ready for financial truth bombs. 855-939-1137, And I'm your host today, Omri Morad. And here in the studio with me is Debbie Anderson, who know as Dr. Deb.
Woo!
Woo! Exactly.
Anderson. There's no like T in there. You know
it's not the T. It's the nose. You hear you hear me, right?
I'm just saying. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the germs on this microphone, I don't see how Larry will use it next week. It's ridiculous.
Well, there's some good and clean over there. We'll set you up for cleaning that out afterwards. Yeah.
Good.
No more college stories. Nothing.
You can tell as many college stories as you want. Yes. The last thing we want to mention is that we are a real school and we are teaching everything regarding money. So you can go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. And you can RSVP for a free class this Thursday. Go to investorschooling.com and we'll be very, very to have you with us in
You'll
the
be
class.
very, very,
very
happy to have us.
What?
No, I think you skipped a word in there somewhere.
I'm not sure I know what's my name right now. I'm like...
I know, I'm surprised you're like actually sitting here functioning because you're like,
I'm good.
Clearly you're not feeling great.
Yeah, I'm not in my best, but I will live a few more years, I believe.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, 2-3 more years and I'll be fine.
One or two.
How are you, Miss Deb?
I'm good. So Omri and I and my hubby, we hung out at... we were goofing off yesterday. We went and got some beers and some wine, and we went down some slides yesterday, the two of us, so that was fun. We were just goofing off and having fun, and it's fun because we always goof off together, and we always joke around. When you say you come in for a class on Thursday night and you hear me interacting with Larry with Omri, that this is us, right? This is us.
That's the dynamic.
That's the dynamic,
and we hate each other to the bone.
We hate each other and love each other at the same time, and we're always goofing off. And it's funny because
Glenn can testify, right?
Because he hears the pre-show
experienced it so many times.
Yeah,
right?
he always says that.
But we also hang out together.
We do, yeah. So Glenn actually came out with us. What was it, a month or two ago? And he actually put us on video, and he's like, this investor schooling stuff is live, and it's real because we were joking around about
the
showers,
right? Yeah.
So it was just funny. We always keep off.
It's funny because you have these rock stars who go on stage and they do their show, and once they get off stage, they don't interact with each other at all.
Okay.
They don't even talk to each other. They don't look at each other. So it's all a show, but. Basically, the point of the video was that, yes, these guys are pretty much what you hear on the show is what they're like in real life.
Yeah. It's always fun. So it's interesting because, sometimes the six of us will get together and go out to dinner.
6 of us?
Yeah, so our spouses.
With the spouses.
With the spouses, right? So Larry and his wife and Omri and his wife and me and my husband, and we'll all go out to dinner sometimes. And it's interesting because Tamar, Omri's wife, said to me the one time, she says... So we were off doing whatever we were doing, and then her and I just started chatting, and she's like, I see why you guys do this, because we all just get into, the three of us will just start getting into a clique, and then we'll get out of our clique and then talk to our spouses and include our spouses, and then we'll go into our clique and just do whatever, and it's just a very natural transition because we just all goof off and have fun together. And it's funny because my husband sees the same thing, and he's just like, I see why you guys are friends, because we just naturally go off each other so well. You know what I mean? It's just fun. So, and it's good because we can all just goof off and hang out. So the three of us were hanging out yesterday, and it's nice because my husband and Omri get along really well, and Larry and my husband get along really well, and I get along really well with your wives and stuff, and we just all have fun together.
And now you stopped.
Now I stopped?
Yeah, so if you are one of the spouse, you can call us and tell that this is a complete lie and you can't stand this trial anymore at 855-939.
There's
1137.
One or two of the spouses may not like our dynamic as much, but for the most part, everybody likes us and we get along pretty well. But it's just neat because we all get along really well. So it's
we
just
are
as
who
fun.
we are. We are.
Yeah, and then people have said that too. They're like, "Oh, you guys are really like this," and we're just like, "Yeah, this is just who we are." We just kind of goof off and have fun and joke around. So
it is.
It is. It's funny. It's fun.
So tell me, you didn't participate in the covered call challenge.
Yes.
You didn't.
I did not.
I know, but you did still do the covered call test.
Yes.
Other challenge.
Not test.
And that benefits you very, very well. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah. So
we just started a new month. So
we just started a new month. So I'm buying on Monday. Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, you're buying on this Monday.
Yeah. So yesterday, all my stuff will expire, or it's probably already expired. And they actually, if I look at Charles Schwab, I'm sure everything has been sold already. Well, actually, I think some of my stock. I have to go back and look. I'm not sure. So when they started the Covered Call Challenge, if you guys don't remember, I was away for about a month, like living the life in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I was really having a lot of fun and goofing off. And so when I came back, I didn't know anything about this Covered Call Challenge, so that's why I didn't participate. Otherwise, I might have. Anyway, so Larry started doing the Covered Call Challenge, and a month later, he's telling us about these returns. So a month later, I started also. So I put $50,000 into a Charles Schwab account. And for the first, and the one mistake that I did is I wasn't pulling out the money. I was pulling out some money and then leaving the rest in there. My thought was to build the account. And he's like, yeah, that's not how it works. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now my last pull that I just pulled out a few days ago was around $10,000. It was like $999.88 or $9,980 or something like that. It was just under $10,000.
And that's from an account in the value of?
So that's from my account. I think it's around 120 in there.
120.
120. So I started with 50,000.
And that's a monthly withdrawal.
That's a monthly withdrawal. So I started with 50, and then I was pulling out, I think around 4,000 ish, somewhere around 4,000, and I'm like, oh my god. So then I put more money in there, and then now I have it up to 120. I just put in last week. I put in another 25, and I should be getting another 30 grand in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to put that in there. So I'm trying to get the account up to 200,000.
Over 8% in a month.
Yeah. So that money. So one place I'll tell you that I pulled the money from is I actually, you know how you get those loans from credit cards or whatever, they call you up. Oh, you're eligible for whatever. So I took a $50,000 loan. Was it 50? I think it was 50. To bring so I had my original 50 in there, and I got another $50,000 loan. Although I only got 42,000 of it, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, so I put that money into the account, and I borrowed it from a credit card. I think it was Discover. They were like, "Hey, you're eligible for a personal loan, yada yada," and I'm like, "All right, sure, why not?" So I took it, and then so that 10,000, 1,000 of it goes to pay back, or it's not even 1,000, it's like $800, whatever, goes back to pay that loan every month. And then I had pulled money out of my HELOC, so then another 1,000 goes to pay back my HELOC, and that 8,000 that I have left over, I'm using to pay off some credit card debt.
Okay.
So I'm using it. So now that I'm going to put in, another, like I said, so I'm going to end up putting another 40,000 ish in there to bring it up to maybe 150, 160. So I'm hoping to get around 12,000 ish a month from that, and then I will still use the 2,000 to pay off. So what I'm doing, I'm doing a combination of velocity banking and covered call income. So what I'm doing is I'm taking it out of my HELOC. I'm getting the return at the end of the month. I'm putting that in my HELOC as my payment. Then I'm pulling it back out to pay that personal loan, and then I'm using the rest of it to pay off my credit card debt. And then I'm doing that every month. So if I do that every month, I'm going to get out of my credit card debt much quicker. It's better than paying, $500 a month on your credit card or $200 a month on your credit card, whatever it is that you're paying on your credit card. So I'm paying off that personal loan from Discover. I'm paying my HELOC back at the same time, and then I'm using the rest of the money to get out of a little bit of a credit card debt that I have. And most of my credit card debt is actually business credit card debt, because we teach you at the school to get credit cards, but we're also friends with somebody else who talks a lot about business credit. So I moved 90% of my credit card debt onto the business, so it doesn't show up on my credit report. So I have a bunch of credit cards, but there's only balances on maybe 2 or 3 of them, and they're not. One's a little bit higher, and the rest are pretty low. I don't know, $100,000 or $1,500 or whatever. And then I have one that's maybe 8,000, and the rest is all on my business credit. So I'm paying off my business credit, and then I'm paying off my personal credit cards with this 10, 12 grand I'm getting a month. So right now it's around 10,000 a month. Next month should be around 12,000 because I'm putting more money in there. I just put more money in there. So it's pretty good, actually.
Sound amazing.
Yeah. So all my stuff has expired. I do monthlies. A lot of the students do weeklies because you can make a little bit more money, but I don't want the hassle of having to look at it every week. Yeah. And I also want to look at it once and not look at it again. So, there's a lot of students who are really, I always joke around, like, I'm a real estate person. Like, I really am a real estate person. And I understand the stock market. I understand what Larry's doing for the most part. But I will be the first to admit that I still call him up or say, hey, can you make sure I'm doing this the right way? Well, or that guy who won the covered call challenge, I'll say, hey, Brian, can you look at this for me and make sure I'm doing this the right way? Because I understand real estate a lot stronger than I understand the covered calls. So I still will always ask for guidance to make sure I'm doing it right. And usually I'm doing everything correctly, which is great, but I still do it once a month so that I don't have to worry about it. So it's the first Monday of the month when you have to buy the stocks if they haven't gotten taken away, and then you buy the covered calls, and that's actually when you're making all your money. That's when you're making so tomorrow by 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock I'll know exactly how much I'll be able to pull at the end of the month because I'm already making that money, and it just takes usually 2 weeks for it to become available, and then I'll just wait till the end of the month and pull it out all at one shot at the end of the month, and then I repeat the cycle every time. So you can either do it monthlies, you can do it weeklies, you can do it whatever it is that you want. And I already have we always talk about just using 6 stocks. So there's actually, I think there's only 5 stocks that I've been doing this with. And I will be doing it every, like I said, the first Monday of the month. Because the reason I do monthlies is that they expire. The last one, they expire on the last Friday of the month. And then since this past Friday was the first of the month, so everything expired yesterday. And I'll start everything again on Monday, doing it all over again. But not bad. 10 grand as a pull for 120 grand. A month?
People don't believe. People come to the school and we each tell about their numbers. I don't do it, of course. I should. I really, really should, but I don't do it. Would rather whine about real estate. Because, I don't know why.
So, Larry and I were having this conversation, and I just want to say one thing. So I think that this is a great strategy, and I don't want to think that
diversity.
But you have to diversify, right? So I still am very involved in real estate. I'm closing on a property hopefully in the next week. You guys hear about my Delaware property. I still have other properties. You have properties. But I'm doing something different and trying it out. So I want to throw it out there that, yes, this is a good way to make money, but you still need to think about other ways to make money in case for some reason something happens, right? Yeah. So you always want to have a backup plan. So this is a good way to make a little bit of money, but real estate is still, it's going to increase in value over time. You can still buy more properties. You can increase your net worth. So real estate is still a very good way, and there's so many different types of real estate you can do, but real estate is still a very good way to invest and to build your net worth and to build your wealth. It's still a very good way to do that.
Correct.
So I don't want people to think, oh, I have, X amount of money, let me throw it in the stock market. That's not what we're saying. We're saying if you want to take a little portion and try it out, sure, but it should not be your only way of getting income. You should need to diversify and have other ways as well.
And you do need to understand what we do.
Right.
Because people think about option and they think it's the scariest thing in the world and you should never do it. And it's like, yes, it's big reward. And it's also very big risk. The way we do with the covered calls, this is not the obvious normal risk
it's not,
that you have when you play. Maybe play is the right word, but when you play with options.
Well, you have to.
This is different.
Well, you have to. So, covered calls are different than stock options. They're completely different strategies.
Yes.
And we do have a set of rules that you have to follow. And when you don't follow the rules, you lose money, right? So it's not like, hey, just do this and you're done. It doesn't work that way. And, people always say, I want to come into a class, show me how to do it. It doesn't work that way either. So usually when you come in, it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to learn it overnight. It just doesn't work that way. Because we teach you a different way about how the stock market works. We teach you a different way of looking at the charts. We teach you a different way of how to approach this thing before you're even ready to do any covered calls. So we teach you all these things, and it's not something that happens overnight. It just isn't. And, I joke around too all the time, and I say I used to be a student at Investor Schooling. I started also as a student, and I think I remember I started in October, and I remember sitting into the Monday night masterminds every Monday night, and week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and they would talk about these stock options, or they talk about the stocks, or I would listen to them doing the presentation. I'd listen to Larry doing the presentation on the stock market, and I have to tell you, it was like week 6 maybe, or week 7, where I was listening to them, and it finally clicked in, where I understood when they were talking about this, it finally clicked. It took me like 6 weeks for it to finally click.
I got you. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
It doesn't happen overnight. It took me a while for it to finally click in.
You really need to understand that. It's like physics. Sometimes the theories that are the most hard to understand are the one you can't see. You can't experiment. It's theoretical, but it's real.
It's real,
and that's part of it.
Yeah,
it's very hard to understand that.
Yeah.
So it takes time. It does take time to understand it. When you do, when you get it and you understand what basically you're doing, the risk is very low. The reward is very, very high. And like Larry used to say, it is boring. And then it pushes you sometimes into doing things more risky.
Yeah.
But don't. Stay with the boring stuff. Do that, and you make fabulous return.
So the reason I like it is because I don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Like it takes me like 10 minutes tomorrow or Sunday. It'll take me 10 minutes to. So I have to. It all depends, right? If I have to buy the stocks back, then it'll take me a little bit longer. But if they don't take away my stocks, then I just need to buy the covered calls, and then I'm done. And that's I like it because I don't have to do a lot to it. Whereas real estate's a little bit more active. I have to think of this. I have to call the electric, whatever I have. But I like but I like doing that.
You can do it on your own. You don't need to rely on third parties.
Right.
And that's what you like.
Yeah. And I like that I don't stress over it. It's just like, all right, if my count goes down in the middle of the month, all right, whatever. I don't care. I'm not getting I have made my money. I'll make my money on Monday, and I'll know what's coming in.
By selling the options.
By selling the covered call.
Yeah.
Not the options. So I'm not doing options. I'm doing covered calls. So by Monday, I'll know how much I'm going to make by the end of the month, and then I just sit back and wait. So I like that. Now stock option trading is a little bit more involved. It's still not hard, and we teach you a part-time way to do it. I'm not as interested in doing stock options because I don't want to have to watch what's going on. I want to be hands-on.
It's more stressing.
I don't know if it's more stress. Well, it's definitely more emotional. Yeah, so maybe, but it's not hard. It's just that I don't want to. You just have to follow the rules, right? And there was one year I had a bad year, and it put me off to options. So and it was me either not following the rules or not understanding or whatever. And for me, it was enough. But I've seen people. There's a student at the school who made, I think in 6 months he made $37,000. There's another student at the school. She's made like $72,000.
Yeah.
Dollars doing covered calls and stock options. It's just like it's amazing. And she hasn't even been a student a year. You know what I mean? Like she's doing incredible. So I think it's great. But she also they also sit back, they watch the videos, they meet with Larry, they make sure that they're doing everything the right way. And that's another thing that we won't let you trade until you're with us to make sure that you're not making a mistake. And it's after, and you have to answer these questions to make sure you understand what you're doing before we let you go off on your own to do everything, because we want to make sure that you're following the rules and making money and not making silly mistakes.
So if you are intrigued by all that information, you can go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and you can RSVP for a free class this coming Thursday, and you will have a blast. We promise you that. We can talk about real estate, we can talk about stock options, we can talk about covered calls, anything you want. Just come, and we promise you will have a blast. If you want to read about that, you can text the word hacks, HACKS, that's HACK hacks, and you can text that to 26786, that 26786, and you will get a free copy of Larry's book, Money Hacks.
All right. Now what?
I don't know. Now what?
I don't know. So it was interesting
break?
that.
What?
No, it's too early for break, right? We need
no break.
Yeah, it's too early. We need at least another 5 minutes before we go for a break. Come on. So apparently Larry's telling us to move on. Is that me or is that?
It was before. I don't know if it still tells us to move on. I don't know.
I don't know. I just saw it because I can't. I got these new glasses.
That's from a while ago.
Oh, is it?
It's from a while ago.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
He was being silly.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
He is. People have too much free time on first class. Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on here.
Is that what it is? Too much time on free time?
I think so.
Okay.
So you tell me what's going on in your life beside the real estate and beside the fact that you're making a fortune.
I'm making a fortune.
With the covered calls.
I'm just glad that I can pay down some debt, which is like you always want to.
Awesome.
That's like for me that's important.
That's awesome. Like, you used it the right way. I believe we have many people that they come here and they have huge credit card debt and it sits on your neck. It's hard.
It's very.
I got it with the interest they are charging and all that. It is hard to get it off.
Yeah.
and I got you completely.
Yeah,
So-
it's nice because I'm just paying like chunks of 8,000 here, 5,000 there, just chunking it. I mean, it's great. I'm very excited.
But
about it.
you see the balance go down.
Yeah, and that's the reward for me. You know what I mean? It's like just to get it just to because there's a couple things I put on. Like I usually for the most part use my business credit for most of my things. Like I have a trip I'm coming up in September. I have a business trip coming up in I think it's October or November, and I had to rack up some of that to pay for some of the travel that I have to do moving forward, and and I just would like to get that off my books, which would be great.
So I do have. I mean, I'm dealing more with real estate, so of course my word is more about real estate, and I want to read to you something. There is a House bill that passed on May 2025,
Okay.
which is pretty obvious to me, but I mean, read it out and see. I want to see what you will say about it. So it say that in the Landlord-Tenant Act of 1955, and they enforce the landlord responsibility, okay, around tenant relocation when a property is condemned or deemed uninhabitable.
Okay.
Which mean, let's say a sewer pipe broke. Let's say carbon monoxide level. It can be so many things.
So it's funny.
We can have lead. What they say is that basically us as the landlord are responsible for the cost of the tenant relocation.
It's a temporary relocation. It's not a permanent relocation. Okay, so
I'm not sure about that because if
I guess it depends on the problem.
Yeah,
issue.
in the problem,
It
exactly.
depends on the problem.
Yeah.
Because a couple of years ago, I had a problem in one of my properties, and it was a problem with the roof, and it was raining. Did I know you back then?
Philadelphia?
No, it was raining. No, it was a different property.
Yeah.
It was raining in the living room, and it was raining in the living room, and I'm like, so I had somebody go out there. And it happened on like a Friday night, and there was a downpour, and it was like, so I mean, it was on a weekend, it was late at night, and it was raining in the and it was literally, she showed me a picture, it was raining in the living room, and I'm like, oh my God. And I said to her, take you and your daughter, go to a local, I said, I'll put you up at the local
motel.
There's a local motel, for the weekend while I get this resolved, and they're like, no, every other room in the house is fine. It's just the living room. We'll clean it up. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm happy to send you and happy to pay whatever costs for the weekend so you guys can stay there while I get this resolved. So they opted to not do it because it was only the one room. But
What was the problem? The roof?
Yeah, the problem was the roof. There was a hole in the roof, but I mean, there must have been. How did they not tell me that there was an issue before? I mean, it couldn't.
I don't know.
That's, I mean, like something must have been happening, and they just never
if
said it.
If it's pouring, it's not immediately.
It's right. It's not an immediate thing.
Something collapsed.
Something happened, and they just never mentioned it to me, and then it got worse, and then it started raining in the living room. So, like I said, I was happy to, fix. I'm happy. Of course, I fixed it, and I was happy to put them up for the weekend while it got resolved, but they just opted not to do it. So. I mean,
we have Leo in New Jersey, and he have a question about a squatter. Hey, Leo, how are you?
Hey, good.
Tell us the story.
No, just been reading and reading in the news, and just hearing on 12:10 a.m. in the morning about squatters moving into homes that are being renovated or after renovation. For in Kensington and Port Richmond and so forth, and it's almost impossible to get about. Is what they're stating.
It is. It's when you don't have anything in writing with the person who live in your house. This is a very, very big problem. And what did I do? We understand that in New Jersey right now there is a gain in ownership by squatters. I also read about that, and they have difficulty to deal with it, and it's horrible. I can tell you that I dealt with squatters in the past. The way to me to deal with a squatter is to put them on a lease, regardless to if they will pay, regardless to if I pay, if I take security deposit, regardless to anything at all. I want to be on a contract with them to be able to evict them, because to remove a squatter that say that he have an unwritten lease, or he was there before me, or he has an agreement with the previous owner, or whatever, it's much easier to deal with a person like that when you have a written agreement, a written lease with them. So that's part of the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. That's part of the problem.
The part of the problem was somebody with 5 kids suddenly occupies your property, your vacant property, and then they say they have a lease that they paid somebody, cash for, and that's it.
Right?
I mean, you can't call the cops. You can't, right? So how do you deal with that? How do you get them? Why would they sign a lease? I mean, they could sit there and say, no, I already have a lease, and here it is, and it's a phony baloney one, but you got to go to court to prove it.
No, listen. There is an exit for any situation, especially to a situation like that. If you are the owner and they present a lease with somebody else, they must explain that in court. And I know in New Jersey it can take a bit more time than what we experience right now in PA, but you will be in front of a judge in just a few weeks. And if they show a lease that is not with you, is not with the previous owner, maybe the previous owner will come and testify you have never met them before, they will have a problem. They will have a problem.
You're the owner. Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I say. You're the owner of a property.
Yeah.
And suddenly you go there, and there are 5 people. There are 6 people. A person, a mother, and then 5 kids. Okay.
Okay.
And they say they whatever, they just moved in. All right. And they got in through the back door, which normally is trespassing. So I see what you're saying, but they can trash the property. They can do a lot of damage in a couple weeks. Okay.
Okay.
So could I move it with them? I mean, not you. If I was the homeowner, could I move in with them?
So I'm not sure we can talk about all that in the radio. I will tell you right now.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
I will tell you right now.
Exactly right. Okay.
If I were you, and it's my house, and I will feel comfortable with that, I won't feel that people will shoot me because of that. I will do exactly what you just described. I will move in with them.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
I think so.
All right, no, I could hire. I mean, whatever. You could hire some badasses that go in there.
I won't go there.
I mean, there are people that actually do it for a living. They'll move in with squatters and.
And it's a problem.
Yeah, once again, it didn't happen. I'm trying to prevent it because I have a home in Maryland and a home in New Jersey. Okay. So you want to prevent all this crapola. I mean, I don't know how the squatter rights ever existed. Okay. I have no idea.
Do you understand?
I had a real estate license.
So do you understand the squatter rights are built on a lie? Squatter right is not built on I broke into this property. Squatter rights are built on I have right to be in this property. They believe that they have a right to be in this property, and normally with a squatter, when they go to court, that's what they say, and they show something to prove that. That's what make them a squatter or a serious squatter that move from one house to another. They will call the electric company and they will put the bill on their name. No, they won't pay it, but they want the bill with their name at that address. And now you, as the owner, what you will need to do, you will need to go to the electric company and said no, they just took the bill from my name, and the electric company should never allow that because there is no written lease, there is nothing on them, because the electric company will never check. If you will call right now and ask to take my electric bill on your name, there is a very good chance that the electric company will allow you to do that. And that's part of the problem. What they will prove in court, what they will show in court, and if they will even attend to court.
So, Leo, I guess I'm not sure. What is it?
Attend to court.
What is it you're asking? So, I had a squatter in my one property in Philly.
How do you prevent squatting? Okay, you're advocating real estate investment. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you in Delaware, Pennsylvania, whatever? So, how are you advocating how to protect yourself.
So you
can not after the fact, before the fact.
So there's only if somebody wants to get into your house, they're gonna, Leo. It's if you live in your house that you're living in now, you know my
right.
I have somebody
That's
who always
one thing. Yeah,
I have somebody who always says to me, he's like, a door is just as good as, you know, it doesn't matter if you could have a $10,000 door or $1,000 door. It's just it's just keeping somebody right out. You know, if somebody wants to get into your house, you're going to get into your house.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do know that, like, some people board up their houses and if it's empty while they're waiting for a renter. I've seen that done before. But if you have a squatter who wants to get into your house, they're going to get into your house, and then you have to just do the legal way to get them out of there. So that is, you know, depending on where you're at, you know, so I had a lawyer that I had a property in Philly that had a squatter in there, and I had to get her out. And it, you know, I have to be honest and tell you that I went about it the wrong way because I didn't know any better. It was one of my first properties and I didn't know any better. But, you know, I got a lawyer and, you know, we had to get them out, and then we had to get the sheriff to come and pull them out and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But, I mean, if somebody wants to get in there, they're going to get in there, but you just need to do what you can to protect yourself. So you can put up a camera, you can get, you know, some kind of door or you can block, you know, put wood on the windows so that it's harder for them to get in. But the other thing too is that you're looking at something that is not. It's not like 90% of the empty houses have squatters in them. I mean, you're talking about, you know, you finish a house, and then within a month or two you have somebody in there living in there. So the odds of it happening aren't like it's 90%. It's you're taking something that happens here and there and making it sound like it happens 100% of the time, and that's just not really true. So out of 20 properties, I had one squatter. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it was a fun experience, because it certainly wasn't. But the likelihood of it happening isn't as high as you make it sound to be. And if somebody wants to get into your house, you're gonna get. Okay. If somebody wants to get into the house that I live in, you know, I can tell you that there's guns pointed at their head, and I hope that they're smart enough to get the hell out of my house. But I mean, if somebody really wants to get into the house, you're gonna get into the house. So you can't worry your life about something.
Not your main living quarters, even though New Jersey,
but it doesn't matter.
In New Jersey, the squatters have it's funny
so
to
you
say
just
that they have rights,
right? But you still need to go through the legal system to get them out. I mean, and it sucks and it's not great. But I mean, you know, I'm not advocating for you to go in and do anything illegal, because that's certainly not something we're advocating.
It will take you,
of course not.
But it will take some time. But if somebody really wants to get into your house, no matter what house that is, they're going to get in. You know what I mean? Like, you know, unless it's underground and hidden, you know, like if somebody really wants to get into your house, they're going to get in.
And we need to understand that if somebody wants to move into your house, okay, and they're moving like you described, maybe with 5 kids and all that, apparently they know what they're doing. They don't care to let their family experience their kid, their family, like I said, experience such a thing, such. I don't know even how to describe that.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know, and they are ready to pay the price. So yes, it could be a fight, but they need to, during this fight, go through a lot.
Yeah.
I can tell you that even with a tenant, it can be a fight. But if you do it by protocol, and we do have a protocol of what to do here when a tenant is not paying, when you have a problem with them, there is way to deal with it. You just need to follow protocol. That's why we say to all the tenants all the time, I mean, on the 15th we are filing. We are not waiting any longer. And yet we have people that have squatters, that have tenants that haven't paid for months, and they're still waiting for something to happen.
And I think that's the other thing too, is you have to take action.
Exactly.
You have to take action.
Yeah,
instead of just waiting, you have to take action. So
you
I
have
think
to make it. You have to take action.
So I think we have to go to commercial real quick.
Yes.
All right, and then we will be back.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, and then we will be back in like a minute or two. Thank you so much, Leo, for calling.
Thank
and then we have to run to commercial real quick.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling.
All right, you're clear.
How many times are you going to listen to my voice
you want me to cut
before
that guy
you
loose?
finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh, my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there. Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. And I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants. Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137. Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to tell you about a charity we formed called Lev 27. Lev 27 is a charity that helps people stay in their homes. Look, sometimes life happens. Many people live paycheck to paycheck, and if suddenly something happens and they can't afford to pay their rent, we will step in and help them.
No, I'm
We'll
good,
even
I'm good.
cover any legal fees
Yeah,
to
of
keep
course.
them in their home. Go to lev27.org. That's lev27.org to find out how you can help or make a donation. Thank you.
No, we good.
This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Listen, you need to take a complimentary class this
No,
Thursday.
make
You need to
another.
learn how to
Make
invest
one
in real
more.
estate. You need to learn how to invest in the stock market. You need to learn how to invest in stock options. And you need to learn how to make more money than you've ever made before. Why aren't you here? Come to investorschooling.com. Take a complimentary class this Thursday and learn. That's investorschooling.com. Take your complimentary class this Thursday. We'll see you there. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Listen, I can't tell you everything we do in 30 seconds. So you need to come to class this Thursday night, and you need to learn and spend some time with us to see how you can make more money than you've ever made before. That's right. We'll teach you ways that you've never even heard of to make money. So go to investorschooling.com and sign up for this Thursday night's class. Take your complimentary class this Thursday. That's investorschooling.com. We'll see you there.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
Yeehaw! Welcome back to the Larry Steinhouse Show. We are the live show that broadcasts to you from the Investor Schooling headquarters here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. You can call us anytime during the show at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. You're also welcome to join us for a free class this Thursday. So go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and you can RSVP for a free class this Thursday. Welcome back, Miss Deb. How are you?
I'm good. My daughter.
You have something live that happened during the show?
So I guess I wish.
What's happened? What troubling you? Come on, share us.
So I guess I have two young. I don't want to say young girls, but I guess. I'm so frustrated. All right, my daughter. I guess my daughter didn't think she was trying to sell something on how you could sell
Marketplace,
like Marketplace or Posh or the Get Rid Of or whatever those things, whatever,
Craigslist,
or whatever. So I guess she used her MAC card to pay them, and now they're holding her money, and I'm like, why would you use your MAC card? You should.
What is a MAC card?
A MAC card, like an ATM card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we call them MAC cards here in Philly.
Debit card, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why we call them MAC cards here. You go to anywhere else, they don't call them MAC cards. They call them ATM cards.
if it's a scam, if it's a fraud, she can still dispute it.
Yeah, so that's what I told her. I said, call the bank and dispute it. And she's like, well, I can't call till Monday because I guess she already called, but they're holding her $300. And she's only 19, so for $300 it's not a big deal, but for her it's like $300 is it's a lot of money, right? It's like half her paycheck for the month, for the week or something. So she's like freaking out, and I'm like, well, I'm on the radio right now, but I'll call you when I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't realize it was a MAC card. I thought she just did it on a credit card. I'm like, just call them up and dispute it, or say your card was stolen, so that they can not charge it. And she's like, it's on my MAC card. I'm like, all right, so we'll call the bank on Monday. And I'm like, so whatever, you're going to have to wait until Monday to get this resolved. So I guess my point is when somebody, and I guess they want to pay her in a credit card, in like a gift card. And I'm like, so clearly this place is not legit. And I don't understand.
Do you remember my story with the Target gift card?
Oh, And what was it, like the AT&T or something?
It was, no, I changed
Verizon?
internet provider
Yeah.
in the house from, I don't remember, from Xfinity to Verizon or something like that.
Something like that, I remember, yeah.
Exactly. And I told them, okay, it doesn't go well. I mean, you can't give me the price that the other company can give me. I want to disconnect. 2 hours later, I got a call from a different number. Okay. And yet, you know how our phone tells us who calls us sometimes, even without them being saved in our contact list?
Yeah.
Right. So I got a call. My phone said it's Xfinity. Oh, we hate to see you going and all that, blah, 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 blah. And we have a program for new students. Do you maybe have a new student in the house? I think my daughter was first grade, but I said, yeah, it's for first grade, but she's not like graduate or college. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. The state of Pennsylvania offer subsidized internet for students, but it has to go through Target. Do you have a Target credit card? I said, no. Okay, you can still pay with a Target gift card. And I went through all that, and it just seemed half right and half not right.
Yeah.
And I still went with it again and again and again. And what happened in the end, believe it or not, is when all that got discovered and I asked the right questions, and basically the nice Indian hang up on me because he figured out he was busted, I called Xfinity, I think it was, with all those information. With the number, with who they are, with what they offered me and all that. And Xfinity was nice enough to say, oh, thank you. We really need that. They called me back a few times. I talked to a head of security there and all that. I investigated about that. And the reward was that I did get the internet I wanted in the price I wanted.
Okay.
Just by going there. But it's insane. And
so
more than that, what we're experiencing, more than that, what we're experiencing in the last weeks, months, I don't know how to call that anymore because it seems like normal for years. The spam calls became...
Oh my God, they're so bad now.
Became such a problem recently, and it's like there is nothing we can do with it.
Yeah.
The problem is it's almost impossible to categorize them because those companies buy pools of numbers and they use them for a week, they use them for 2 weeks, and then they put them back so everybody else can use those numbers and they take new numbers.
Okay.
Now what's going on? We have pools of numbers that have been basically used by those spam companies, by fraud companies, by loan companies, whatever they are, and they are for sale for people like you and me.
Yeah.
Why? Because they are back in the market. Those numbers, they've been used, they've been disconnected, and they're back in the market. And now we are experiencing a situation that we see that our phone tells us this is a spam call. And we are answering those calls, and we are ready to be nasty to those persons.
I know. I noticed that.
And this is a tenant that is trying this is the tenant that is trying to rent from us.
Yeah.
And they just got this number. They just bought this line from the cellular provider. So this really became a big problem. It's not even when the phone tell us that this is a spam, we can't believe it anymore. I still get a call from Delaware at least twice a day from a woman who sells. She's Angela Adams. I don't know who Angela Adams is. Please call me and my crew, with me and my if you are Angela Adams, please call me at 855-939-1137.
There you go, Angela Adams. Reaching out to Angela Adams. Whoever that is.
855-939-1137. I want to talk to you. Like 2 calls a day. She called me with a recorded message, and she tell me to call her.
Okay.
How rude! I mean, what's going on in the world?
Yeah. So a friend of mine, she was a little bit older. She got suckered in, also. Like it sounds like a similar scam to what you had, and she ended up spending, I don't know, $300 or $500, and she ended up they told her she had to get a gift card to, I don't know if it was Target or if it was, Best Buy or something like that, or Staples or some kind of thing, and she just didn't know any better. And it bothers me because the people who are younger or the people who are older, they don't know any better, and they think that because they want to give the benefit of the doubt that people are being honest and real, and they're getting taken for, $300, $500, $1,000, and it's
they need it for them. What do you say?
The problem I've run into is I get those scam calls, and I'm just so Pavlovian. My response is just to shut it down, not respond, not acknowledge it, not take the call, take the call, but then cut him off. I'm so in that habit that once in a blue moon, something will come through that's legitimate, and I almost miss it because you owe money to for this blood work or something legitimate, and you're just like, well, that's a scam. But it isn't a scam because you're just so used to shutting down scams.
So Larry did this. It was like a week or two ago. He was having, his mom was coming into town, and they were all going to go to Capitol Grill. Were you there for that? So I was there for that. And Larry is very nasty when he gets on. When he always is like, "What do you want to waste my time with today?" That's how he answers his calls.
Yeah.
And I guess though he was nasty to this one woman, and she's like, "Excuse me," and he's just like, "What are you wasting my time with today?" She's like, "I just wanted to see if you were coming into dinner tonight. This is Capitol Grill call," and he's like, "Oh my God," he's like, "I'm really sorry." And then I guess they had the date down. It should have been Sunday instead of Saturday or Friday or whatever day they had, and he's like, "I'm really sorry about that." But he does the same thing, and that's what happens. Like I've learned to not answer those calls, and then on occasion I'll answer it just to see. But I'm already in a bad mood.
I know.
When you answer the call, so you're already like whoever's on the other line, even if it is legitimate, they're already on and out. You know what I mean? Like you don't even know who these people are, and you're already pissed off at them. And it's interesting. You know, it's just, and you're right, Glenn. It's like, what if it is a real call? And then I'm thinking, if it's a real call, they'll leave a message, and then I'll respond. You know what I mean? But it is. It's like it's gotten so bad. And here at the school, we've gotten so many spam calls that we put a thing in place where if it's a real call, if you are a human, that's what it says. If you call the school right now and it'll answer. It'll says, if you are a human, press 1 and you'll be connected, and then it comes to us. Otherwise, it's because we were getting so many calls a day that it was just all junk, and it was really a problem. You know, so
if people will put their attention into the right places, my God.
I know it's. You know, they work so hard to come up with these scams. If they just had like a real job and a real life and a real way to make money, it's like this wouldn't even be necessary.
If you do have a story about a spam call that keep bothering your life, please call us 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. We'll be very happy actually to hear about that because we are living those stories every day. It became ridiculous.
There's a thing, and there's a couple things and it goes against you because there's one. It's like an app. It's called RoboKiller, and I used it for a little while, but then I realized that my phone is a business line, and it probably wasn't a good way to go. But then one of my friends, she's hard of hearing, so she has them.
She's what?
She's hard of hearing. She has a hard time hearing on the phone, so she was going through a program where they would transcribe it for her so that it was easier for her to read, but then the people on the other line think that it's a fake line now, so she has to kind of endure it. So it works both ways because you have somebody legitimate who's trying to really hear what they're trying to say on the other line because it's a legitimate call coming through, but she can't hear it, so she's trying to get help so she can hear it better. And then you have like programs like, you know, like I said, like I don't even know if they're still out there, like RoboKiller or like other programs where they'll take the call and waste the time for 15-20 minutes, you know. So it's hard on both ends, you know. It just is a mess on both ends. I remember somebody was saying that they pitted two people against each other where it was a fake call on one end and a fake call on the other end, and they connected them to say, hey, here's my tech team, and then here's my tech team, and they were going back and forth. Do you remember? I think somebody
That's
had
awesome, that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was hysterical.
So when I'm in the car, I am going with them.
Okay.
When I'm in the car and they're calling me, yes, tell me about it.
Yeah, you say you put your phone down and come back 10 minutes later and they're still talking.
Sometimes they're still there.
Yeah.
I don't think because they work on commission. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but the point is, as long as they're on the phone, why do they care? They don't care if I will shout at them or the next caller will shout at them, right? They just think about this kind of job. Maybe, I don't know how we went into this subject, but think about this kind of work. Those people go home to their family, to their husband, wife, to their kids, basically after being shouted at all day by people, and they keep doing it every day. And they keep doing it. It's so depressing right now.
But now they also have the AI, which sounds almost human.
Some of
it's
the
pretty
AI,
convincing.
Some of the AI sounds really good. Like I've heard some of it, and you're like, whoa. Some of it, it's getting. And what's sad is it's like the worst that it's going to be right now. You know what I mean? Like it's the worst. The worst AI is ever going to be is right now, because in 10 years it's going to be 100 times better. But some of the AI, like I'm just like, wow. Some of them sound really good. You know, like some of them sound incredibly real.
Yeah, there was one that almost fooled me, and then I said something like, "This is AI, isn't it?" And it had a little response ready to go where it said, "No, I'm speaking through a computer. That's why I sound this way."
Yeah, correct.
And the jig was the jig was up.
Yeah.
But then it called my girlfriend a week later, and it was we were in the car, exact same voice.
I know, because they got the idea that people are asking the same question: are you a human? So I got the same thing that you just said. So you got a memorized answer for this question. Yes, it just sounds like that because I'm calling from a computer.
So you know what I've done, and it throws it off because it gets quiet on the other end, is I'll say something completely unrelated. The sky is blue today, isn't it? And then it just doesn't say anything, or it'll repeat the same thing it just said, and I'm like, oh, this is AI. So like if you say something that's totally has nothing to do with the conversation, it doesn't know how to respond, and it'll repeat the same thing over again. But I've done that. It's just like the sky's blue today, like out of the blue.
Quiet.
And then it's either quiet or it repeats the same thing over again. And I'm like, this is AI.
Yeah.
Because if somebody was on the other line, they'd be like, what? You know what I mean? They'd be like, what are you talking about? You know, but it doesn't know how to respond to something because it's completely not related to the conversation, and it doesn't make any sense.
You're reaching a very scary point in life.
I'm telling you.
But like you said, Dr. Deb, it'll get better and better. And it won't just be.
This is a worse
I had to think about it. I'm usually pretty savvy, and I had to think about it. I'm like, I think this is a computer.
Yeah.
You know? It'll get better and better.
It'll get better, which is scary, which is scary. But I don't know. But yeah. It's just, but yeah, ask it something. Next time you hear it something, ask it something that totally doesn't make any sense, and then see what it does, and you'll figure out right away. If you're not sure, ask it. You know, because the reason I did it is because I'm like, she sounds like a real person. She sounds like whoever it was. She sounds really real, and I'm like, you know, when I did that, it just repeated it. I'm like, oh, this is AI. So yeah, I don't know. All right, so we only got a couple minutes left. Either call or tell us what's going on, or I don't know. We have somebody texting. It says, okay, so this is so not a question that we talk about on the air.
Yeah, on the air.
Yeah, so,
You have a question from a student here on the chat. We'll answer it personally.
Yeah, so.
We dealt with a lot today. We talked about the stock option and the covered call challenge. We talked about real estate. We talked about landlording, tenant, even squatters. And now we talked about spam calls.
And now we talk about spam calls.
Exactly. Yeah, every time you say spam calls, I get angry. I mean, I really, really, really get angry. It's the summer, I'm with my kids, and then I'm also trying to rent a unit, and every time I get those calls, I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so mad. I got you. And we'll see. So
there's got to be a special place. There's got to be a special place in Hades for those people who...
in
well,
Hades?
the people...
What is Hades?
Hell.
Hell, yeah, in hell, yeah.
People
there's no
trying to exploit old people and people who want that's just the worst of the worst. When you're trying to get old people to give you their life savings, man.
I know that kills me when I hear stuff like my friend got taken. She got taken for like $500, $1,000, and for her.
For what? What did they sell her?
They were saying that it was something that there was a problem with her computer or something. And she just didn't realize it was. I mean, I'm listening to her. I'm like, this sounds like a scam. Everything about it sounds like a scam to me. When somebody calls you up and says, oh, you need to give us $500 to fix your computer, it's like, that's a scam. That's clearly a scam. But like some people who are older, they don't realize that, right? And it's the young and it's the old who get suckered in the most, right? And she got suckered in. She's like, oh, well, you have to give us a $500 gift card to whatever store it was. And then even the store's like, we don't think this is right. She's like, well, they said this. And then, and it was. So she ended up losing like money, and then I said, "Listen, I'll pay for your gift card."
They do it so vague. I know.
And it just kills me because for her, she's 80 years old. I mean, like $500 is probably half her check. You know what I mean?
Know.
Like, so it just kills me when that happens, and it's just clearly my daughter just got suckered for $300. So it's frustrating because she should know better, and you know what? It happens to all of us. You know, like I guess, you know, now she'll be more educated.
Yeah.
You know,
she'll be more careful.
She'll be more careful, and
Correct.
then my friend also will now be more educated and aware, and it won't happen again. But they have to lose money in the process to do that, and it just sucks. You know?
So we want to remind you that if you want to get Larry's book, the Money Hacks book, if you want to get the digital copy, you can text the word hacks, HACKS, hacks to 26786, and we will send you a free copy of the book Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. And I think that's it. We had a great show. We are very happy to be here today, even though we are not. At least me, I'm not in the best health condition, but I'm still okay. I'm very happy that you are here. I'm very happy for everybody who called us today and discussed with us. We want to invite you to join us for a Thursday night class. Every Thursday, you go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and you will hit the RSVP button, and you can come and meet us in person and see that, yes, we are real, and also we are real the way we are, the way you hear us on the radio. So you can go to investorschooling.com and RSVP for a free Thursday night class. We'll be very happy to see you. Bye-bye.
This program is paid for by Investors
All right,
Schooling.
you're
All
clear.
opinions or
Give me 1
statements
second.
expressed
I
on
wanna
the
ask you
program are
something.
solely
Thank
those of
you.
Investors
Chris,
Schooling
if
or
you
their
call
guests and
back,
do not reflect
give
the
me a
opinions
call
of
back in like 5
WPHT or
minutes,
Odyssey.
and then I can answer your question.